Venerable Bhante Kondanna, brothers and sisters in Dhamma, again back to you for a discussion on a sutta. Even though it is mentioned as a sutta discussion, I thought of discussing the sutta without any material. So the content of the sutta clearly is in my mind. Because of the time, I think 1 hour, better to discuss a short sutta or discourse rather than going into a deep or long discourse of the Buddha. One of the sutta that I have studied in Sanghamitta Nikaya, Patama Ayu Sutta. Patama Ayu Sutta, the first discourse on the age. I know you have heard the verses, some lines of the discourse. It's very familiar with the lives of the people, as Buddha has discussed something very important and familiar with you. Patama Sutta will illustrate the importance of the life and the significance of the human life. Have you heard the verses like Appamidam Bhikkave Manussanang Ayu Gamaniyo Samparayo Kattabang Kusalang Charitabham Brahmacharyang Natti Jhatassa Amaranang Yo Bhikkave Chiranjivati So Vassanva Vassasatanva So Vassasatanva Appanva Bhiyo Bhavai Bhiyoti, according to my mind. Appamidam bhikkave manussanang ayu. There are 3 sentences as well. Sentences mean stanzas after that statement. Once the Buddha addressed his disciples in order to assemble in Jetavana monastery. They approached the Buddha. Having approached, they were listening to the Buddha. Then the Buddha said this meaning, this is statement, very strong statement. Appamidam bhikkave manussanang ayu. What's the meaning of this term? I will elaborate the important part only, important wordings of the discourse only. Appamidam bhikkave. Appamidam means appang idang. Appang idang. These 2 words are combined together, then it becomes appamidang. Appang idang becomes appamidang. Appan means not the hoppers that you can find from the Indian shops. Not them, Not appam. But here appam means very small, very short in Pali. The meaning is very small, very short. Not long, Idang. Idam means in this world. In this world. Appamidang. Bhikkave manussanang ayu. What is short? Bhikkave means, dear monks, the lifetime of humans are very short. Who were born to this world, that means, the Buddha says, dear monks, the people in this world or the human in this world, he refers to the humans. The lifetime of the humans in this world is very short. Manussanang ayu. Manussa means humans, you all, including us. So our lifetime is very short in case of the lifespan. We all expect longevity. Then we call ayu. Ayu in Buddhism. Can you remember? Ayu means lifetime, the time that we need to live. In some discourses, it is mentioned vayoguna, lifetime. So everyone needs to extend lifetime. Extend the time that you live in a considerable time, in ages. This ayu, or the lifetime, longevity, everyone expects all the beings to live long without dying. Yes, of course we know we die one day. The Buddha says death is certain, life is uncertain. You are familiar with that. Maranam niyatang, jivitang aniyatang. Marana niyata means death is certain, it will happen definitely. Jivitang aniyatam means we will spend the lifetime, therefore lifetime is not certain, it's uncertain. As I mentioned in the morning, in the afternoon, in the Dhamma talk, always we pass the time, we cannot recover the time in the lifetime. Always we approach us to the death, so we cannot come back. We spend our lifetime. The lifetime is defined as ayu. Why do we recommend you to offer dana? No one can stay without food. You will stay without food only a few days. You cannot stay without food at least for 1 month, at least for 1 week. At least you need to have drinks, maybe fruit juice or whatever, drinks, soup or whatever you have to take. Why do we take food? To save our lifetime and extend the time, to add the time, to have extra time to live. That means when we think of the 5 advantages of offering dana, ayu, anna, sapa, bala, pagna, The first one is Ayu. We need to have longevity, long life in ages in order to do everything. We say, first of all, you should live to do anything. Ayu. Then the Ayu is very important because of that, but according to the Buddha, Appamidam bhikkhave manussanang Ayu. Life is impermanent, death will come to reach you, and you will end up the life with the death. Then what happened? Your lifetime is over. One day we will die. Therefore, in this human world, if you are born as a human, your lifetime is very short during this period. In the period that you have been born in this world. Appamidam bhikkhave manussanang Ayu. That is said like that. So, if our lifetime is very short, if it is shorter than some other beings in the world, what shall we do? You know, some animals, they live than us, they have the lifetime than us, their lifetime is longer than us. In case of different types of animals, some animals live 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, and beyond that. That is the nature. When we think of the divine beings, their lifetime, the lowest heaven, in human world, 50 years is one day for them. Then you come to the second one, 100 years in human world is one day for them. Is it good for them? Do you believe in that having a heavenly life is better than the human life? Because of the long time that they have to live? As it is a discussion, please answer. Yes.
If they are always in enjoy, they forget dukkha.
Yes, they forget dukkha as a result of their previous meritorious power. Is it good? When we come to the seven, the highest Devaloka, their lifetime is very long. Then when we go beyond that, Rupalokas, the divine beings in the Rupaloka as well, their lifetime is they are longer than the divine beings in the 6 heavens. Then when we come to the Arupaloka, the same thing, higher than others. The only advantage that they have, sometimes they can see one Buddha, 2 Buddhas, 3 Buddhas. Their lifetime in one life is very long. So they are divine beings for many eons. They can meet the Buddha, they can see the Buddha in the human world, they enjoy the life. They are beings in this universe, different universes. They are having long life, very long life. Some animals also have very long life. Do you know, if we collect beings in the world and we line up them and count their age limit, and we can say this elephant is another animal, so elephant's lifetime would be between 70 years to 100 years. We count. We have to put a human also in that life as a being in this world. We cannot separate. So we have to come back to understand their lifetime. So maybe in case of that, humans will stand in the category of the beings who have the very short lifetime. That is what Buddha says. Appamidam bhikkhave manussanang ayu. If our lifetime is very short, what happened to us? Gamaniyo samparayu. What happened to us? Gamaniyo samparayo means you have to say goodbye to this world. Death is certain. You will have to go for a journey. That is, you have to come to the death and you will die. All the humans will die in short time in comparison to the other beings. Could you understand? In comparison to the other beings, sometimes, we have different ways of counting the lifetime in order to understand the nature of the quality of being short. You can close your eye, you can open your eye. Then count the time that you take in order to close and open the eye. Very short time. It is very faster than 1 second. Is it? Can you physically experience? When you open the eye, after closing, the time space between closing and open, that is very faster than the second that we count in the clock. That is very faster than the second. Then our lifetime is like that. Very short time in comparison to other beings in the world. That is called muhurtam, a moment, a moment. Then, in comparison to the other beings, we will live for a moment in the world. So we will die gamaniyo samparayo. We will end our lifetime. If our lifetime is very shortest among the beings in the world, there are some other beings also who have the shortest life. For an example, you can think of a dog, cat, duck, or whoever. What is the use of their lifetime? Whether they live for a long time or whether they are living for a short time, they can do nothing. Useless. But in case of a human life, do you think becoming short is good or bad? Good or bad? Bad. Because, for an example, you think all the medical treatments found by humans, then all the treatments, medical treatments, even for animals, who found? Animals or divine beings or who? Humans. Therefore, humans are the most important beings in the world. Humans are the most important beings in the world. The Buddha has discussed, when we think of a human life, Bhante knows very well, human life is the greatest life in this world. rather than being born as a divine being, it's better to be a human. Because Buddha is the greatest human being in the world. In order to end up the samsaric cycle existence, you have to be a human. Divine beings cannot fulfill 10 perfections as being a divine being. They have to be born as a human being and complete those perfections, and they have to observe 8 precepts, 10 precepts and other highest precepts. As a human being, they have to practice the Buddha's teaching as a human being. Then because of the power of the human life, they earn meritorious powers and they are going to be the divine beings. When they enjoy the divine life, they can do certain meritorious powers. But after enjoyment of the divine being, divine life, they have to come back to the human life and practice the reality, Buddha's teachings, and again they have to fulfill the 10 perfections. So the human life is the central point of all the beings who do something good. They would be born as humans or higher beings like divine beings or the beings or the divines in the Brahma world. Whether you go to the divine worlds or whether you go to the hell, you will decide in the human life. Some pretas also have long life than the human lives, but that is to suffer, not to enjoy. They are suffering a lot due to their weaknesses, faults and sins, unwholesome things practiced by them as humans when they were humans. Then human life is the most important life. This is the central point. Among the lives of the beings in the world, humans are the greatest. All the doctrine found by the Buddha, as a human, he taught even to the divine beings. Divine beings. Divine beings can do nothing. They create a divine life, they achieve a divine life because of their ethical behaviors as a human being. So the human life is the central point. When you are in this central point, you have to decide your directions, whether you go to higher places or lower places, or stay in this human life again, as to be born as a human in order to complete the 10 perfections to attain Nibbana. Then, as we are in the central point, what happens? If our life is very short than others, shorter than others, is it good for us? Do we have much time to play and enjoy the life? Do we have much time to waste? No. Gamaniyo samparayo. Even though we have the greatest life as a human, lifetime is very short. Then gamaniyo samparayo, you would die. Therefore, what shall we have to do? Kattabbam kusalam charitabbam brahmacharyam. Kattabbam kusalam means kattabba. Katabba. If the verb ends in the suffixes ba, abba, kattabba, katabba, charitabba, In Pali, the suffixes means must in English. Not should, must. Definitely you have to do. Katabbang kusalan. You should do. Kusalan means you should be clever and you should do clever things. Clever things is what? Wiser thing. That is, you should do meritorious things. You should do positive things. You should generate wholesome deeds and gather the power. Charitabbam Brahmacharyan. Meanwhile, when you are doing the meritorious powers, when you generate wholesome activities, when you operate that, when you earn positive energies, at the same time you have to do Charitabbam Brahmacharya. Charitabba means your behaviors. Your behaviors should be ethical. Could you understand? Your behaviors by way of your speech, your behaviors by way of your body, your behaviors by way of your mind should be pure and ethical, moral. Definitely they should be based on loving kindness, compassionate, altruistic joys and equanimity. These are called four divine abodes. Some say four sublime factors. Brahma, Charyan, Brahma Vihara. You have to lead your life as a Brahma, like a Brahma, not as a, but like a Brahma. When we say as a Brahma, you should be a Brahma. When you say like a Brahma, you have to act as a Brahma. Brahma means you have to lead your life with the practices of the Brahmas. Brahma Vihara means the practices of the Brahma divine beings. They live, their behaviors of their life contain practices of loving kindness, practices of compassionate, practices of compassion, then altruistic joys and equanimity. You have to handle your life according to these four noble sublime factors, and also you have to practice other moral and ethical practices in the life as a character. You have to adjust your character in a noble sense. Could you understand? Some are doing meritorious deeds, but they don't observe the precepts. Then they do meritorious things, the part of the Charitabba, Brahmacharyan, part of the Brahmacharya life, ethical side is no. There is no ethical side. Then that is incomplete. If you are ethical, having observed at least 5 precepts, then if you cultivate four noble sublime factors towards all the beings in the world, then if you do meritorious powers, the powers would be so powerful. The powers would be more powerful than the other meritorious deeds. Gamaniyo samparayo kattabbang kusalan. Kattabbang kusalan charitabbang brahmacharya. You know what is loving kindness? What is compassion? What is altruistic joy? What is equanimity? You know. Loving kindness is you spread your loving thoughts towards others, wishing them the well-being and happiness, thinking may all the beings be well and happy. By heart you cultivate those loving thoughts towards yourself to others, from yourself to others. Then compassion means you have a feeling of supporting others to be free from suffering. When others are suffering, you look at them and you have a feeling, I should help these people or these beings to be free from suffering. So you do something with good intention to support them to be free from suffering or pain or whatever difficulties. That is called the kind heart, kindness, compassion. Altruistic joys, how do you define? I think you all should have ability to define altruistic joy, because you have learned from the late Chief K.C. Dhammananda as well. He always uses good words to define this. What is that? Your happiness is my happiness. Can you remember? In his talks, we can find out these words. Your happiness is my happiness. That means you have to be free from jealousy. You have to support others to enjoy their life ethically and morally. You should have the ability to enjoy when others enjoy their life. Equanimity means you have to practice patience and you have to share all those feelings, spiritual, noble attitudes in practice with all the beings in the world without level or without limit, or equally you have to share. Should have no limitation to my family members, neighbors, villagers or countrymen only. You have to share equally with all the beings. When you practice your Brahma life, your ethical life, when you behave like a Brahma while practicing meritorious deeds, Gamaniyo samparayo kattabbang kusalan charitabbam brahmacharyan. Then Buddha illustrates from this discourse the nature of the life and what you have to do next. Kattabbang kusalan charitabbam brahmacharyan. Then the Buddha again come back to the topic, Natti jatas samarana. Natti jatas. Jatas means to the born beings in this world, with special reference to humans. Nayaka Hamdurni. Then Natti no. Amaranang. What is? Maranan means death. Amaranan means opposite side. No one never lives. If someone say to the beings born to this world have no death, that is wrong. Everyone dies. Everyone dies. If someone thinks I do not die, that is Amaranan. I have no death, someone can say. But everyone has a death. The people who attain the Nibbana as a Buddha, as a Pacceka Buddha or Arahant, they can claim, they can proclaim, we have no death anymore. After the attainment of the Nibbana physically, again they have no birth or rebirth. Because of that, they have no death. But humans, as we have a birth, as we have to face the reoccurrence of the birth, we call rebirth, reoccurrence of the birth, then we have to face the death. All the beings who were born to this world, they have a death. They cannot say, they cannot proclaim that there is no death. Natti jata samaranan. All the beings will die. Yo bhikkhave chiran jivati. Dear monks, if someone lives for a long time, or if someone enjoys long life in ages, yo vasanva appanva bhiyoti. That person will live maximum 100 years or bit more than 100 years. If not, they will live less than 100 years. That's the nature of the human life in this world. Could you understand what the Buddha said in this discourse? In Patamaya Sutta. Then, that means people can pray for long life in ages. We can do spiritual treatments, we can do medical treatments, but they will live maximum 100 years or bit more than 100 years. Bit more than 100 years. If not all the beings, the rest of the beings will live less than 100 years. That's the nature of the human life. Very short. Very short. While the Buddha was explaining this matter to the monks, someone was behind listening to the Buddha. Who is that? Who is that? In the form of a child, someone was listening to the Buddha. The evil one, Mara. He also came to listen to this discourse and disturb the Buddha, saying that what the Buddha is going to tell to the monks. He doesn't want the Buddha to illustrate or reveal or explain any other factors regarding the reality in this life under his subjects. He stopped there. He wants people and beings to be born and die again and again, and perform something related to the karma world, worldly life. He was listening to the Buddha. He came to listen to the Buddha and observe the Buddha in the form of a child, physically. Then he disturbed. Don't say like that. Don't say like that. Digamayu manussana. He says, that's wrong totally. How you can say the life of humans are very long? He says. When he says like that, when he argues like that with the Buddha says, evil one, I understood. You came like that. Then Buddha addresses to the monks, dear monks, this is not a human boy. This is the evil one. He came in the form of a child, changed his nature into a child and came here and disturbed us. This is evil one. What he says does not happen. He says, what he said is, humans will have long life. Then he added, if someone has understood, so-called a noble person like a Buddha, that the human life is very short, appamayu manusana, if the human life is very short, he teaches he comes to teach to Buddha, if you understood the human life is very short, what you have to do? You should sleep like a small baby, after drinking milk from the mother, small babies sleep very peacefully, happily. And what they do is they get up, again drink the milk from the mother, again sleep. They have No, they have nothing to do. They cannot do anything. So if someone has understood the human life is very short, he should behave, he should sleep like a small baby. What was the Buddha's reply? Buddha again emphasized, Appamayo manussanang. I understood evil one you. What you said that does not happen. The life of the humans is very short. If someone has understood that, like a Buddha, like me, Buddha says, if someone has understood, a noble person has understood, then that noble person should behave like a person whose head is being burnt in a fire. And he should tell the matter to the people, humans and the beings, to understand the nature of the life. You know the nature of the beings whose head is being burnt in the fire. He tries to stop the burning fire.
Put off the fire.
Yeah. Put off the fire and get a relief. In the same manner, they have to behave. Noble people like Buddha, they have to behave in telling the reality about the human life to the humans. That was the discourse. Then the evil one, with a sad mood, what happened is he disappeared. Tatte sugato ataparan. Tatte vantaradai. That means the sugata. Sugata means the well-gone one. Because why he uses the word sugata for Buddha in that one? Buddha has come to this level having gone through a very difficult journey. So he knows the nature of the sansaric life. Therefore Sugato, the Buddha, the Blessed One, the well-gone one, understood the reality and understood and recognized me. I couldn't do anything. He disappeared there. That's the discourse, the content.
No, the questions.
Therefore, we have something to consider. All the human beings, including Bhante, all other humans, our lifetime is very short, brothers and sisters. Therefore, we have no options. This is the turning point, human life. Whether we are going to upper birth or whether we stay in the human life after this life also, whether we are going to lower life. We cannot go to a lower life. We have to stay or come back to human life, for we have to go to higher life in order to shorten our sansaric journey. Therefore, determine observance of the Sila, 8 precepts or 10 precepts or whatever precepts, that will strengthen your journey, or whatever meritorious powers that you achieve, to make it more strong and to shorten the sansaric life. Not only that, to stretch your time in giving long life to your human life, long time to your human life, in order to live for a long life, long time. Therefore, you have to consider that. If any questions, I am so ready to answer to you. Bhante also will add something more. So I talk a lot with reference to the content. I would like to invite Bhante Kondanna also to add something from the teachings of the Buddha in order to enlighten you in this regard.
Yeah, I'd like to clarify something. I think you mentioned Khattabang Kusalang Bahung. Kusala. So, Bhante mentioned about meritoriousness. That's something that you have to learn and remember. We have two words, punya and kusala. Kusala is skillfulness. You must be skillful in those activities, what you do. So that's you have to, instead of earning, developing our meritoriousness, of course in your meritorious side, but you have to not crave for that, but the skillfulness is you have to develop. You're very skillful. So with that no kleshas or no energies are, we are trying to be in the positive, being in the positive side, we have become active, getting rid of. You know, in the morning we were learning, stainless in stinginess. Similarly, that's a skillfulness. By doing so, with understanding when you do that, that help us to get rid of this cycle, to break the cycle. Breaking the cycle is the important thing. So it is long cycle we are in, remember. Buddha saw that. How long? He couldn't see it. Unable to see the beginning of it. So that's why how he addressed the monks. Animataggo yang bhikkave sansaro pubbakot. We cannot see the beginning and we cannot see the end. Such a long time. That's the reason for him to encourage us to practice. Practicing, we develop our skillfulness. So we have to do it. Kattabbang kusalang bahung. A lot. Meritorious energy as well as unwholesome energy. The wholesome energy, unwholesome energy. What does it do? Bring it in the cycle. Keep going. But while you're... Very good Buddha mantra is that, remember, sabba papa sakarnam kusalasakam sachitta pariyodapanam etam buddhana sasanam. So, that is what we have to do. With understanding, not craving for the existence. When we hear the beautiful stories of the divine realm, we like to go there. Maybe the desires arising in our minds. It's really nice. But if we can improve our spirituality with spiritual qualities by seeing that sabba, stay away from all evil, do good, and in the meantime purify our mind. How can we purify our minds? By only way to practicing meditation. When you improve your mental clarity, then you can see things. We were talking about meditation, so we must be able to see our minds, our jealous, right? Our greed, our anger. Then only we can let go of that. Instead of anger, we can practice metta. Instead of jealousy, we can practice mudita. Instead of, looking at the other people, seeing the pain of another person, we can be practice karuna. This Brahma, what do we call that? Meditation on this four sublime state of our mind. So as we do develop, those are skills to develop. As far as we understand the skills and our mind, we can see, and we are cutting off those unnecessary grease that we are having inside. We all have a lot of garbage in our mind, so we can wash it off. Let it go away. So if we do that, definitely we are in the path. So by simply we do it, that's what we have. For that, what do we have to do? Saddha we have to have. Sila we have to have. Chaga we have to have. Panya we have to have. That's what we're discussing in the morning. Right? Those four qualities. Saddha sampada, Sila sampada, Chaga sampada. Those are Pali words. Saddha means what is that? Yes. We said confidence of the Buddha. Confidence of those qualities that he really attained to Buddhahood. Some people are still suspicious. I cannot believe it. Buddha is such a pure person. We put it into 9 categories, 9 qualities of the Buddha, we always say. But huge. Buddha guno achintyo. Immeasurable. You cannot measure it. Why? 4 years plus time he was practicing and practicing and practicing. He perfected 10 perfections. So he came to perfectness by practicing. So what do we have to do? We also have to have practice, right? Keep practicing. With understanding, knowing the Dhamma, we let go of all these defilements, all these weaknesses that we have. Those are weaknesses. Human weaknesses. So we have to admit that I have weakness, then only we can work it out. If we don't see ourselves, we won't be able to do that. So we must be able to see it. As practitioners, these are the things that we, not to worry. You know, sometimes you feel bad about yourself, you feel very sad, depressed. That doesn't work. No, be happy. At least see, today, whole day you spend in the temple. You manage your time. You are a person who is a working person. You gave up all those things. You dedicated your time for this, thinking the full moon day, right? So likewise, we have to add a little bit more into our daily practice. Then you can be happy. Be happy of yourself. That's what Buddha said. You always have to be happily engaged in things. So that way it will help us for the purification, cleanse of ourselves. Weaknesses are with everybody. I have, Bhante has, and Venerable Subhagya has. So we all have these things. We are human beings. So therefore we are weak. But understand it, see it, catch it, work on it. Then we can do it. Not to sleep on what we had, oh, I did this, so bad. No. Whatever has done in the past, let go of it. Be here, be now. Right? This is what Buddha said. Buddha's teaching is very simple in one sense, but very deep in other sense. But we can go into depth like a swimming pool. When you are going into swimming pool, as a child you go into not a deeper one. So you start. And as you become skillful in it, good swimmer, you can go into a very deep one without having any fear. So that's because you have that skill. How did you get it? By practicing. By practicing you become like that. So therefore, same thing with the Dhamma. We have to see it. There's no other way out from the cycle. Otherwise, no matter what label we're carrying and all this going through, what beliefs we have, no shortcuts. People may be thinking there's a shortcut if you do pray to this one. No shortcuts. If there's a shortcut, Buddha would teach us. Buddha was searching for it for a long time. He didn't find it. What he found is this. Seeing it, stay away from all evil, do good, make effort to purify yourself. So that's what he told. So you have to remember that. Okay? And any more ideas, any more questions? This is the discussion with your thoughts. So there's a microphone. Yes?
Good evening, Bhante and brother and sister. As I understanding, our world is very short, but also good for us. We understand we are short. When we understand, we must full use our time. We didn't have tomorrow, like I want to enjoy today, then tomorrow I still have time. Then we try to get and hold our times and try to cultivate and do whatever we have got the opportunity to do. Thank you, Bhante.
Yes. Even you have to continue tomorrow what you are doing. So suppose now you are being at home, being a lay person, being a family member. So do you cook every day? Can you cook with very generous thought? Instead of saying, wow, I have to cook this, crying inside yourself, being burdened, taking it as a burden. But instead of that, can you be generous? Oh, I'm so happy that this is my practice. Very generously I'm thinking. You are feeding your children, you are feeding your husband, you are giving dana. In a sense of, you very generously thinking that if they are growing up nicely without having any illnesses or sicknesses, if may my food be helpful for them to stay in healthy. Isn't that a thought of dana? very generous, right? Very compassionate. Kindness is there. So you are practicing. Everyday life we can do lot of meritoriousness, skillfulness we can develop. But if you are only mindful of that. So that way we can apply all those actions. Suppose you are working in an office. Somebody is coming, you are in the front desk. But you go to your office with all the problems at home and you are showing your sour face. What happened to that person? Person who is coming to receive your service, scared because when they see your face, facial expression says, stay away from this person. Right? But if you forget those things that at home you didn't carry your home to the office, you can smile. Smile is a gift. That is metta that you can give. That person would be coming to you very kindly, very fearlessly they come and ask you questions. Can you guide me to find I need to do this and could you kindly help me? Very compassionate, you can help that person. You can make that person's day nice. Instead of, making that person, depressed, angry. So you can really treat nicely to those people. But people don't know this. They have all these problems and pour it out to that person who is coming to receive your service. So if you are mindful, definitely wherever you are, you can earn a lot of merit. Skillfulness, that with understanding you are practicing. What are you practicing? Metta and kindness, compassion is there. That's a practice. This is in a daily life. You are not going to temple to practice all these things every day. But wherever you are at that particular moment, you can make it your practice time. So it's possible. There could be a lot of things, but you have to convert those things into action of compassion, action of metta, action of generosity. This is how you do that. Saddha, sila, chaga, with discipline. See, now you are not angry. Your mind is with action in very kindly. You are, serving other people. That is chaga. You are giving your time. In daily life, when you look at your daily life, think of you. See yourself and see how you did. So that you can transform into a beautiful action. Always we can transform that. The people who are around us, for us to improve our good skills. Not to get upset and angry. Oh, I always think, I have 4 other monks living with me. So I see the weaknesses they have. But I don't complain to them. Oh, thank you. You are giving me opportunity to improve my patience. I do. But those negative thoughts are not cooking in my head. But whenever I have chance, don't do this. This is really weak. We can change this. We can do this way. So I see, I have changed myself a lot because of them. They provided me opportunity for me to practice. So that's how you have to look at too. Maybe your children, maybe your husband. Husband maybe is too stubborn, too arrogant. What can we do? That's a personality. So whenever you have a chance, you can help him to change too. If you do practice metta, that's metta power is working. But you have to find the opportunity for that to bring it out, for him to see it. Otherwise, arrogant mind cannot see it, because arrogant mind is very conceited. He is blind with that, so he is not ready to take it. That's how things are.
What Bhante said is exactly correct. He elaborated how you should use your skills and come to perfectedness. So in that case, there are different incidents. Throughout your character, he said how to turn yourself into a way of thinking in a positive way. That is, you should have the ability to differentiate what we call the good deeds and bad deeds. just like a garland maker. A garland maker, when he is going to design the garland, he would select the different types of flowers, then pure flowers, fresh flowers, and he will remove the flowers which are broken, not fresh, in that way. In the same manner, you should have the ability to differentiate what good is, what bad is. Then if you have that skill to differentiate, definitely you will win the game. Game means the defeating the evil one. I mean, you know the story of King Milinda. Questions of King Milinda to Venerable Nagasena. The story happened like that. We have to change the thinking pattern first, according to Bhante Kondanna. That is the skillfulness. Then you can come to the perfectedness. What he did, both Venerable Nagasena and King Milinda, they were in their previous life, they were the teacher and students. Both were monks. King Milinda was the chief reverend, and Venerable Nagasena was the novice monk. One day this chief reverend cleaned what we call all the compounds and gathered some dust and asked to novice monks to clean the place. Then he didn't like whatever. At the end, he punished him with the punishment. After the punishment, he got all the dust and throw away to the river. When he was cleaning and throwing the dust to the river, he thought and verbally said, cleaning a place is a very good meritorious deed. That means the place can be pleasant to others. Cleaning is removing the dust or whatever unnecessary thing. The result is earning wisdom. I will earn the wisdom by the power of this meritorious deed. Then just like I want wisdom, like in this river, the river waves come. Even though river waves come, the river bank will tame them. They cannot go beyond that. In the same manner, in my next life, I will have a wisdom, great wisdom, in a way of river bank. That means how the river banks tame the river views. In the same manner, I should have a sharp wisdom in order to tame anyone, control anyone. As a result of that, he was born as Venerable Nagasena. Then, so he was born as a Venerable King Milinda again. Then the chief reverend was listening to him. Then he thought, if he can wish after throwing the dustbin or whatever dust he has collected, I am the person who clean all the compound. If so, he is the person who thought, I should have a sharper wisdom than this small novice, in a way, like what we call the river bank. I should have a sharper wisdom in order to control everyone, like the waves of river bank, how they are tamed by the river bank. So they were born, one is very talented, both are talented. At the end, in front of King Milinda, Venerable Nagasena won. Venerable Nagasena was the chief reverend, of course. Like that, they turn their thoughts of cleaning into good direction in order to have wisdom. That should be the way, as Bhante said. And when you cook the food for family life, if you can convert into loving thoughts and wishing them the best health, the same manner, when you wash the clothes or dresses of your husband, children, when you clean your home, You can convert your feelings. Then no anger, no jealousy, no hatred, or no negative emotions arise in your mind. That's how you should skill your human brain, skills of the human brain or your life in order to convert everything into positive directions. Then you can be perfect.
So simply I can say that when I do sweep, I still think, like I'm sweeping all this dust, may I be able to sweep off my defilements that I have, that generates in my mind. So simple things. We all can have some kind of, it's not a bad aspiration, so we can have it. We can practice. So that way we always are with the Dhamma, improving Dhamma skills. So I think we stop there, right? Yeah. So 5 minutes has passed the time that you're talking about.
So by the power of these merits, we also extend, both Bhante Kondanna and I extend our great wishes towards you. At the end of this year, you may remind the good memory with us and the good memory with the associations of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. All those good memories will come to you, remind you this year. However, you would have a happy life ahead this. And by the power of these merits, may you be well and happy. May your sansaric journey would be beautiful, successful and happy, and may you shorten your sansaric journey. May your human lives would be very successful with longevity. May you be healthy and wealthy. May you be able to attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May all the Bhantes, including Chief Reverend, and all the supporters, all the volunteers, all the staff members of Buddhist Maha Vihara, and all the beings, all the sponsors who provide dana, everyone, may everyone be well and happy. May everyone be well protected by the Triple Gem. May everyone attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Even the gods, even the departed ones, all the beings, may they all receive these merits. May they bless us. May they also attain the Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Blessing for you. Abhivadana silissa niccang vaddapacayino Cattaro dhamma vaddanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatte sagga sampatti mevaca ato nibbana sampatte iminate samijjatu.